So the Chiefs' 3-day rookie minicamp has concluded, and in this video, I want to look at the key takeaways, biggest standouts, and more as we hear from several of the rookies themselves. Then we got to look at the flurry of roster moves Kansas City made as they signed a bunch of UDFAs and released others to make room for them. But first, how about those? All right, rookie minicamp officially wrapped up today with a plethora of rookies, quarterback Chris Oladokun, and head coach Andy Reid speaking to the media over the course of 3 days. That was also filled with practices, meetings, and basically the coaches throwing all they can or all they could at the rookies to jumpstart them before they link with the veterans later on this offseason. And the thing about this part of the offseason is players cannot hit each other. No live contact is permitted as there are no pads on, with most of the practices being individual and or group instruction workouts. They also aren't really getting the run game too involved yet either, so it's a lot of just observing and seeing how things could potentially look down the road for these players based on the drills, as well as some of these other team drills, 7-on-7s and stuff like that. And you're going to be looking a lot when it comes to running backs at their pass catching ability out of the backfield. And a lot of rookie minicamp is mental. How fast can you react and pick up everything they throw at you? Andy Reid said it was good to have the rookies out there back in the swing of things as they see what kind of pace they could go at. He thought Xavier Worthy did a nice job picking everything up as they asked a lot of him from the jump, basically every receiver position from what I understand. And regarding offensive tackle Kingsley Suamataia, he knows a lot of his family with him being local to the BYU area, but there is no favoritism now that Kingsley is here with the Chiefs. He did a nice job so far handling everything thrown his way. And speaking of the offensive line, Andy said this is collectively one of the better, younger groups they've had out there in recent years, which is a good sign to an extent, though it's still pretty early on, as again, the pads are not yet on. Worthy reportedly had a bit of a rough first day of camp with a drop going viral online that resulted in trolls calling him a bust. However, he had plenty of good reps both before and after this, so I think it's just a slow time right now on social media, and these jobless bums, need to get a job, but it was really just a nothing burger, and social media is going to do what social media does at the end of the day regardless. What I found more interesting was that Worthy was limited in the second half of practice on day 1, with some surmising it was already due to injury, but he came back strong on day 2, making lots of catches, 6 of them to be exact, with one impressive deep grab down the field. So I don't really think it's injury related or he wouldn't have came back so strong day 2 and day 3. And regarding that deep pass down the field that he caught, Chris Oladokun is the one who threw the pass, and he said it's pretty hard to overthrow Worthy because this man is quick. Chris O is one of the main QBs helping head things up at camp, with him noting that Mahomes calls him every day and asks about all the guys and how they are doing to get a grid on things, which I found to be pretty cool. Chris O said Worthy is a dog. KC drafted him in the first round for a reason. Everyone is excited about him, and even though some gave him a hard time for his first day at camp, it's been great so far for him. A guy that fast, you got to get the ball out earlier to him and adjust to that level of speed, and he predicts he's going to do some good things in the offense this season. Worthy himself spoke with the media and said it's going to be a lot of fun to play in this offense. There's some crossover from the playbook at Texas to here in KC, just different phrasing and terminology that he's got to get locked down. Worthy played a lot of the X receiver position at Texas, but feels like he can play anywhere out there, and whatever they need him to do, he's down to do whatever is asked so he can get out there on the field and play. He doesn't really care how he gets out there at the end of the day. He just wants to be out there and contribute. He said this is a great fit for him, Kansas City's offense, and let's be honest, who wouldn't want to play with Patrick Mahomes? So he's glad to be here, and Mahomes reached out to him early once he was drafted. Then when asked about his weight, Worthy said he's at 169 pounds right now. 69, nice, though he doesn't feel like it's going to be a problem because you need to understand your weight and strengths when out there on the football field. Deshaun Jackson was a similar build, and that's a guy he's been inspired by. Plus,
I don't think I took because I delivered them. But
well, okay then. Light him up, Worthy. Let's freaking go. He said his goal is to gain another 5 pounds or so and be out there during the season at like 175 pounds. He's not worried about it at all, and I guess for now, that means neither should we be worried about it, especially considering both Andy Reid and Brett Veach feel the same exact way. And not only do they feel confident in him, but they traded up to get this man in round 1. Then, the second-round pick Kingsley Suamataia let everyone know how to properly pronounce his name when asked about it.
Suamataia, Suamataia, Suamataia.
He said it's a blessing to be out there with the Chiefs, and he's just taking it all in and soaking it up. The number one thing he's working to improve on is his pass protection, from footwork to hand placement. It's been a big emphasis for him this offseason. His goal is to be a team player, ball out every day, hopefully get to that starting spot and be whatever best fits for Coach Reid. He hasn't met with any of the other offensive linemen yet, like the starters, but Jason Godric, the Chiefs' international player from last year, has been a good mentor to him so far. Kingsley said after getting drafted, Mahomes was the second person to hit him up. He actually woke up to a text from Mahomes the morning after the draft, and that fired him up. He's going to learn the playbook as fast as he can, contribute, loves all the guys here, yes, but he's aiming to outwork the guy in front of him as he fights to earn that starting role at the left tackle spot. He's comfortable playing either side, though, and did some work on the right side during camp as well. His cousin is Penei Sewell, the legend of a tackle with the Lions, and that's a mentor of Kingsley and someone he pulls from in his game and play style. And while I have no idea yet if Kingsley or Wanye or a veteran added later will end up winning the left tackle spot, I'm going to be watching this one closely, as I believe it is extremely important to protect the blind side of the best quarterback in the game. Next up was another lineman, the 7th-round pick in CJ Hanson. He's honored to be a part of a team with a winning culture, noting that rookie minicamp for him has been fantastic. And get this, he was the first player drafted from his college, Holy Cross, in nearly 35 years. So this is a huge deal for not only him, but his entire school. This has been a lifelong dream of his that is now a reality, though of course he knows he's still got to earn it.
I've always dreamed of it, and I've always had it in the back of my mind that this is what I want to do, and I think this is where I belong, and I put my whole life towards it, so I'm happy I'm here.
Ironically, with the 35-year gap between him getting drafted and the guy before him, the last player was actually selected by the Chiefs when they opted to draft linebacker Rob McGovern with the 255th pick in 1989, which is pretty crazy. So he knows what this means for him, his family, and his entire school. They preached family there, and he feels it's the same here with Andy Reid and the Chiefs. I could definitely see this man being a depth piece for the interior this year, and if for some reason things don't work out long-term with Trey Smith, you can't pay everyone after all. Hanson could historically find himself as the next man up in the future, so I don't want to get into any further speculation here as it's only rookie minicamp and there's a long way to go. Someone else many people want to hear as much as they possibly can about is the former rugby star, the Welshman, Lous Rees-Zammit. He says it. He tells you how to pronounce it right here.
It's Lous Rees-Zammit.
But his accent makes me not sure if it's Zammit or Zammit, so damn it, Zammit it is. Andy Reid said camp was great for LRZ. He's diligent and soaking everything up. He got the opportunity to jump in, getting a lot of reps, and has really done a great job with everything so far. There's definitely some differences between the two sports, football, rugby, but at least initially, Andy likes the feel he has as a running back, even though he's never played the sport or the position and kind of runs a little funny, if we're going to be honest. He will adapt once the pads come on and he gets hit, and then it will be interesting to see LRZ from there. Lewis himself shared that in rugby, there's only like 20 to 30 plays, and here in the NFL, well over 100. So there's a lot of changes from one sport to another, playbook aside. He's a very hands-on learner, so getting all the reps in during rookie minicamp has helped him out quite a bit.
You know, when I get the ball in my hand, it's pretty similar. Getting open field space, it's about how I do that. So if I'm in the backfield, the footwork, you know, I'm used to being able to pick gaps, use my awareness. Route running's obviously completely new to me, being able to accelerate and decelerate. But yeah, you know, the more reps I do, the better I'll get. And it's going to take time. It's definitely going to take time, but, you know, I'm willing to put the work in.
He goes on to say his dad was a big NFL fan growing up, wanting to play the sport, and played over there in Europe, but didn't have the opportunity to actually play in the NFL. However, LRZ now does, and since his father is a big role model and mentor to him, He's happy to carry on the legacy. He speaks with his family every day, and they are really happy for him. He felt like KC was the best place to be, mainly because of the coaches and the plan that they have for him. He's starting out as a running back and will play some sort of versatile role. Kick returns make sense for him and where he aspires to contribute, but he's got to learn the playbook to contribute on the offensive side of the ball, so he is really focusing up on that. He just wants to be out there playing, so he's here to learn as quickly as humanly possible. And during rookie minicamp, he took a screen pass deep into open space yesterday, and he believes that's where he's at his best.
It's amazing. When there's open field, I feel like I'm playing rugby again. So, I can use my awareness. When I am in space, then that's when I can cause the most damage. So.
And while I don't know the future for LRZ in regards to making the 53-man roster and instantly contributing or anything like that, I know I'm not alone when I say I am rooting for the guy. Then the local homegrown kid from Lous Rees-Zammit, wide receiver / return specialist Phillip Brooks out of KSU, spoke with the media. He said the Chiefs, it felt like the Chiefs were a good fit for him and his skill set, even though he had some opportunities with other teams. He had a solid weekend at rookie minicamp, though, of course, he's got to clean some things up. He's just going to lock in, stay focused, and is not worried about the pressure of making the team, because if you focus up and grind, good things will come. Special teams is one of the key ways, kind of like LRZ, but different because this man has played lots of football in his life, but that's where he feels he can make the roster and is here to add to the value, especially given the new kickoff rules this season. And then one of the biggest steals of the draft, the Chiefs' 4th-round pick, safety Jaden Hicks, said he's proud to be here, and getting drafted was a lot of weight lifted off his shoulders. He's been working hard to get to this moment, and he's going to treat every single moment like it's his last. He's working in at free safety, doing his job, though he has flexibility to move all along the secondary. Anything the coaches ask of him back there, he's going to do it. One thing Jaden said that caused my respect for him to skyrocket was that he is not a fan of the Raiders.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a fan of the Raiders, so, you guys don't have to worry about that.
Well, what do you know? He was made to be a freaking Chief. Jaden loves the energy of defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo and has already been learning quite a bit from him. Him playing at the free safety position works for him because you've got to have that dog mentality and willingness to hit people, which he's all about. However, he doesn't want to just be known for his physicality. He wants to be the best all-around player he can be. Then, the Chiefs' 6th-round pick, speaking of defensive backs, cornerback Kamal Hadden. He's thankful and blessed for the opportunity to be a part of this organization. The game was taken away from him, at least for a while last year, when it ended early due to needing shoulder surgery. So he said it's great to be back, and it makes him appreciate everything that much more, and makes him give his all every day because you never know when the game can be taken away from you. He went up against Xavier Worthy in camp and complimented more than just his speed. Sure, he's known for being fast. 4.2140 is freaking fast, but he's a nice route runner, can get open, and believes Worthy is going to make a lot of plays in this league. Their reps against each other was an iron sharpening iron moment, and he believes they will continue to make each other better. He then said he hasn't linked with any of the veterans yet in the secondary, but is excited to contribute in his own way, as well as learn from the guys like McDuffie that are already contributors. And speaking of contributors, a guy that could very well do just that at some point this season when injuries occur, hopefully they don't, but it's part of the game, is the 5th-round pick, Hunter Nourzad, who played 4 out of 5 positions along the O-line in college, and now that he's in Kansas City, he's working to learn the playbook and then is down to play wherever he is needed along the line by the coaches. He wasn't highly recruited out of high school, but once he got to Penn State, scouts started showing up, and he realized that the NFL could be a real possibility, and boom! Here we are. He wasn't certain he would be drafted, but figured if he was, he'd be a day 3 guy and tried not to look online for his name or overthink the process, but again, is honored to be here, put his head down, and get to work. Another guy people want to hear more of is tight end Andrew Wiley. Tight end Jared Wiley. You guys gotta forgive me. I'm probably gonna say Andrew Wiley at least once a video for a while because of how long he was with the team, but it's Jared Wiley. Big Red said he's a big kid, can change direction, catches the ball well, and was a good blocker in college, so they will see how that goes for him down the road when the pads can come on. Chris O noted that Wiley plays physical, is a big target, and this will be a good thing for him to add him into the mix with Kelsey and Gray. He then said, talking about Chris Oladokun, he's gotten to know LRZ recently during their Airbnb stay in Texas. He thinks he will be a great addition to the team also. But back to Jared Wiley, he himself said he's here to contribute in any way possible, whether it's on the offense, catching passes, blocking, or even playing special teams. Whatever it is, he's here to do that to the best of his ability. Wiley actually played quarterback in high school, was then asked to transition in college, and that's helped his game a bit, transition specifically to tight end. Plus, he likes to be able to prove that he's completely capable of playing tight end, even though he didn't play it growing up.
I used to hate whenever my receivers dropped the ball, so I know that quarterbacks hate that. So, I've definitely done a lot of work with myself, just being comfortable with the ball in the air, and being able to adjust my body certain ways to make those catches to help the quarterback out as much as possible.
He had to learn 5 offenses in college, so this is actually the 6th offense he's going to have to learn in 6 years. Therefore, learning systems is sort of normal to him, and he's confident he'll be able to get this one down. Also, once he transitioned to tight end, by the way, Travis Kelce is one of the guys he started studying from the jump.
So just being able to, be in the same position room as him now, it's kind of like a starstruck feeling. I've watched him play, like I said, for a lot of years and try to model my game after him in some areas that I can.
Well, I like to hear he aims to model his game after the GOAT, and learning directly from him this season is only going to help for sure. Mahomes called him briefly about 20 minutes after he was drafted and said he's excited to get to work with him. So hearing from Mahomes was a bit surreal, and now that he's actually here, everything is beginning to settle in for him. He's just here and really doing this and is ready. And with that, rookie minicamp is over. There were several standouts aside from Worthy, who again struggled his first day, but then had a bunch of catches the next and solid touchdown scores in the third. Matt McMullen also said Jared Wiley had strong catches. Wide receiver Phillip Brooks had a nice day with several catches. UDFA running back Carson Steele made a one-handed grab in the flat in 11 on 11. Then day 2, Miles Battle made an athletic PBU down the sideline. Jared Wiley had another notable day to Matt McMullen. Cornerback Kamal Hadden jumped a route and recorded an interception during red zone 7-on-7 in day 3. Worthy again hauled in those touchdowns. And then UDFA linebacker LaQuay Washington tallied a PBU during the red zone period. So lots of guys to kind of keep your eyes on and watch out for. Though sadly, when you're looking at this kind of stuff, rookie minicamp and stuff not really available to the public, all you really have to go on is some of the beat reporters who are there and allowed to observe, and then kind of make your observations / assumptions on how things are going so far based solely off of them. Now, even though rookie minicamp is over, the Chiefs are not done making moves. They signed 17 UDFAs in total by the time minicamp started. You can see all of them here on the screen. Thanks, Troy. We covered most of them in this video here as well last week, if you haven't seen that already. But roster moves are incoming and will continue to do so, because after signing all those UDFAs, the team then released wide receiver Anthony Miller, wide receiver Jacob Copeland, tight end Isaiah Gathings with an injury designation, safety Tyree Gillespie, I forget it every time, please forgive me, defensive end Jordan Smith, and then wide receiver Shy Smith was released as well, even though KC's autocorrect on their app called him Shit Smith, which is freaking crazy to see a typo like that on the team's app. Anyway, with rookie minicamp all over, more roster moves will be incoming as the team continues to potentially add some veteran free agents and keep the 90-man roster fluid. Nothing there is set in stone. Then, phase 3 of the offseason program for the Chiefs starts May 20th through the 22nd, May 28th through the 30th, and then June 4th through the 7th. After that is the team's mandatory minicamp, June 11th through the 13th. And this is where things will start coming together as the rookies then link with the vets. And then there's roughly 6 weeks or so until Andy Reid's infamous training camp, where wide receiver John Ross retired 3 days in, but somehow was at a tryout for the Eagles over the weekend. How in the heck? Whatever, I wish that man the best, but there's lots of stuff going on right now in the offseason, but you guys got to let me know, with all that being said, who you are most excited about after the conclusion of rookie minicamp. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?